Welcome back, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed our chapter 6 reading for today. Now we're going to move on to our word work activity. So, the word work activity for today is revolving around or involves the word Machiavellian. And this revolves around or regard is in regards to Machiavellian's ideas about how a leader should govern, and it gave rise to a new word which is synonym for a clever or a dishonest way. The word is Machiavellian. Machiavellian means using clever tricks to achieve something. For example, the governor used Machiavellian tactics in order to get elected as he made promises he knew he would never keep. What sort of Machiavellian tactics did the Borgia family use to stay in power that we read about in chapter 6? And be sure when you answer this question, boys and girls, to use the Machiavellian word in your response. You're going to type it here. And remember, anytime you see a box that's outlined in red, that means that you need to complete it with your answers. Okay, the last thing that we're going to do for our lesson 8 reading for today is we're going to complete this table. So, throughout this chapter 6 reading, we read about three different characters or authors. So, Machiavellian, Castiglione, and Della Casa. So, they gave a few advice throughout this chapter. So, for example, number one, for Machiavellian, he gave his audience that he gave advice to was princes. And his advice was it is acceptable for princes to be dishonest to remain in power. It is better for a prince to be feared than to be loved. So, what was some advice that Castellonian gave in what audience? And the same thing, what did the Della Casa's advice did he give and what audience? And so you're going to complete those two boxes there. Okay, and then the wrap up, because we want to make sure that we're reading and comprehending. We're going to answer these two questions. Explain the title of the chapter, of this chapter that we just read, morals, modesty, and manners. What does that mean? How does it relate, or how is it similar to what you read throughout the chapter? And then number two, what is a common theme? So, what is a common thing that continues to happen across all three examples of Renaissance literature? So, what are some good things or themes that continue to happen through the books and chapters we read throughout the unit? Okay, boys and girls, let me review over what you're supposed to complete for your reading. So, first, you're going to make sure, first and foremost, you're going to make sure you read chapter 6. Don't skip through this assignment and not read your chapter. And you're going to do that by clicking here to read the chapter. Then you're going to do your word work activity and answer this question about what sorts of Machiavellian tactics did the Borgia family use in the power. So you just learned about them in chapter 6 that we read. And then you're going to complete the table here by telling us what did these two famous men, what audience did they tell? So who did they give this advice to? And then what advice did they give? And then lastly, you're going to do your lesson 8 wrap up questions. And then that's it, boys and girls. And then you're ready to move on for your writing lesson. I hope you really enjoyed our reading lesson today, and I'll see you next time.